What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon and Elijah.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venetia. Let's start it off. Big shout out to the family. Keep it in the family, of course, with the giveaway winner. Shout out to our cousin Brady, who won on the wheel. Promised it wasn't rigged. Although, there was controversy if you're one of my B-roll friends throughout my post and Jonathan's sister, my cousin Lauren's post as well. So, it's a tough scene, but congratulations to Brady, of course.
Yeah, I don't like you saying I had to keep it in the family, of course, because that makes it sound even more rigged than it seems already. It was not rigged. We did the wheel. That's why we had to go on the IG live. Shout out to everybody that entered, though. We had almost 20 people entered, and shout out to everybody that tuned in the live, too. We were almost like 10 to 15 viewers the whole time, so it was cool.
I just want to go on record with saying, I didn't have anything to do with the wheel. I do think it potentially could have been rigged, but
maybe. Nah, it was not rigged.
Nah, yeah.
I don't want any rumors in the air, but I like, the talk going around, gets people interested. I think we're going to have to do another giveaway at some point.
Definitely. That is definitely already in the works. Potentially maybe some merch. We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, it was definitely cool. We took a lot longer on the giveaway than I thought we were going to, but then, I'm glad that we officially got it out. Got somebody I think is going to appreciate it and start off his collection right. I don't think he has any records, so I'm happy it went somebody that, I think is going to really enjoy it.
Definitely a great starter pack with that, of course. So looking forward to getting him spinning those vinyls. So
yes, sir. Speaking of vinyls, though, we kind of always talk about your backdrop. If you're watching on YouTube, you see Elijah's backdrop. He's got all these records. One album that always sticks out to me, I'm looking at it, Astroworld by Travis Scott. We just had the Astroworld anniversary. It just dropped last week, a couple years back in 2018.
Along with swimming.
Top
right corner if you're watching on YouTube.
That's a big day, right? Got me thinking. 2018, such a good year. And so this week, what better way to celebrate those anniversaries than taking a look back at the year that was 2018. We're going to go through our top 10 albums of 2018. We're just going to kind of skim through the first 5 a little bit, talk about them briefly, and then dive a little bit deeper into our top 5 each. I'm excited. It was a deep year. There's a big debate, 2016 versus 2018. I feel like a lot of people around our age kind of really look at those 2 years as, 2 of the best. And I'm excited to see what one of those years had to offer.
Definitely. And I think we're going to be including 2022 in the mix as well with, some of these historic years that we've had. Just the way it's gone so far. We'll see how it finishes up, of course, but
yeah, it has been a crazy year, so we'll see if it does end up among the greats of our generation. We'll see. But let's get into this top 10. If you have any honorable mentions, I got a couple that didn't make my top 10, but I want to touch on them a little bit. Did you have any of those, or do you just have your 10?
I'm just going with my 10,
Okay.
I'm not a big honorable mention guy just because I feel like if you would have made the list if you deserve the mention. So
I disagree. We're talking about how deep the year it is.
No, it's a deep year. I'm just playing with that. But yeah, I didn't bring any honorable mentions. I just came with my 10.
All right, I'm gonna run through mine quick then, just so we can get straight into the top 10. My honorable mentions were "Good Job You Found Me" by Valet. The boys signed to good music. The future was looking bright at 2018. Didn't really do anything after that I listened to that much, but man, this project was crazy. It was pretty short. It was only like 7 songs. Had the feature from Pusha T on it on Miami. It was crazy. He was running the game for a minute, influencing people like Tyler on Okra. Yeah, it was a banger. Then Whack World TR Whack, 15 songs, 15 minutes.
I knew that would make it.
Hits did not make my top 10.
Yeah, I knew it'd make at least,
but it was so close. And then one that I know is going to make yours, "Swimming" by Mac Miller, did not make mine, and "DiCaprio 2" by JID. Those are my honorable mentions. Had to give them some love though, because those are also great projects, but just not, personally in the rotation as much anymore.
Yeah, I feel like for this, we kind of went with personal preference along with, the album's got to have some critical reception to at least make the list. So, I think the biggest factor in the ranking for me was personal preference. And then, I feel like there's a set amount of albums that you could have chose from. And
facts. That's kind of what did the Valet one a little bit lower, just because it's kind of small. It's the grand scheme of things. It's not as much of a heavy hitter as some of these other ones, so it couldn't be on the list.
Definitely very solid year. I wouldn't say as top heavy as, like a 2016 type of year, but I mean, all throughout you're just getting damn near classic albums. We'll give them a few more years to serenade, but
Yes, sir. I mean, there's definitely some great albums that we're going to get into, but you want to kick us off here with your number 10 pick.
definitely. Starting off here, got Culture 2 by the Migos. This album is just filled with bangers, Motorsport, Narcos, Walk It Like I Talk It. I mean, anytime the Migos drop, there's gonna be loads of bangers. And I mean, I feel like this is their last album that I really was bumping like this. So
Definitely Migos are always going to have hits, you know that,
Mhm.
but it's just not in the rotation all the time. Like whenever they come on, I'm like, oh yeah, this bangs, but I'm not like seeking out the Migos, but definitely cannot argue they don't have the hits.
I feel like the bangers, the hits from Culture 2 have stuck around for me personally more than they did with Culture 1. Like with Slippery or tracks like that off Culture, the first Culture. I feel like maybe it's just the timing of my life that they've stuck around a little bit more. But yeah, Culture 2, and there's not much that needs to be said about it.
My number 10 pick here is like a complete 180 from you have with the Migos. Mine is Lost and Found by Georgia Smith. I mean, this project, I was very excited when it came out. I loved Blue Lights. I've been listening to that for a minute. And so then when this album finally dropped, it was in the rotation heavy. Love some songs. Don't Watch Me Cry. I mean, I'll listen to that all the time. I don't got to be in a sad mood. It just hits. The vocals hit. I mean, there's just so many good songs in this project. February 3rd, Teenage Fantasy. It's just great vocals, great production. And I think it's one of the best like R&B type albums from this year. So had to have it on here, of course.
Great pick there. Honestly surprised me. I was scrolling I think it was like the 30 best rap and R&B albums I think this list Complex did of 2018, when I was trying to refresh my memory here. And I saw it and I was like, oh. But yeah, great pick there. Like you said, complete 180 though.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see if we have any overlap here, if it's going to be kind of different. I don't know. We're going to see.
I think we have to have overlap at some point, of course.
I think we do too, but like I think I might have something like a 2 that you're going to have like a 9 or otherwise opposite.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into my number 9 and see if this is your number 2. I don't think it is, but we will see. For my number 9 pick here, I have Scorpion by The Boy. This album, I feel like it's kind of the same thing Kanye just did with Donda last year, where there are just so many tracks that kind of discredits the overall value of the album, but there's just slappers all throughout this album. I mean, Survival, Nonstop, Elevate, and then you got the R&B side with Nice for What. What he had three tracks go number 1 consecutively, right? What was it? Nice for What?
God's Plan at some point.
God's
probably.
Plan and In My Feelings all in a row, and that's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely killing the streaming numbers with that project. I mean, that's one of the best streaming albums of all time, I would say. Like some of those songs pushing 1 billion, it's just doing crazy numbers. Yeah, we always say about Drake, we know he's going to come with the hits, he's going to do the streams, but like you said, long project, a lot of filler points. So yeah, decent project overall though.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish it was a little bit shorter. I think it could honestly climb a little bit up in his discography. I mean, had it been so. But 100%. I kind of like what he did, playing both sides, the rap side and the R&B side as well. So I get it.
Yeah, I think that was cool because you hadn't really seen something like that with like a mainstream rap, pop, whatever artist in a minute. So it was cool to see Drake kind of do the two-sided thing. That was cool. I'll move here into my number 9. I had My Dear Melancholy by The Weeknd. This is a short project. It's really a departure from Starboy's sound back to, kind of what he was working with on Trilogy and even Kissland a little bit. Loved it. I was, a fan of Beauty Behind the Madness and Starboy, but they were nothing compared to the Trilogy era Weeknd for me. And so when we got back to that, even just a little bit with My Dear Melancholy, I was so happy. I mean, you got Call It My Name, you got Wasted Time. So many good songs in this project. Privilege, that might be a favorite one. Such a good project. And I think it was just kind of setting the foundation for what has happened with After Hours and even Dawn FM a little bit.
Definitely. I definitely agree with you, setting the foundation, of course. I have like the weirdest story about this album. And this is like so specific as well. I remember this was like a spring album, probably like February, March, would you say?
I think March, yeah.
And I just remember I was like a Thursday, albums come out Thursday at midnight. I'd fell asleep after I wouldn't have been practicing anything at that point. I think maybe just after work or something. And I just wake up at like 4 a.m. and I was like, oh, the weekend dropped. And I just listened to the whole album at like 4 a.m. on a school night. Just no clue why. Just, one of those times you just wake up and you're like, can't go back to bed, stay up
Oh
for an
yeah,
hour or so.
that always hits. My random story with this one is I think it was a really, really short rollout. I think it might have even been like
No,
announced
yeah,
the
it was
day of or the day before. Like it was very short. I think it might have been announced on the Thursday and that dropped that night. But I remember I had class on Thursday when it got announced officially. I think maybe it had been like leaked a little bit, teased a little bit, but then officially got announced. And I was in class. It was this class. It was business law. This I don't remember if it's the only, but I don't get C's in classes very often. But I did get a C in this class because I was just not paying attention. I could not focus. The teacher was so boring. I was just always just scrolling through Twitter on my laptop. And so I was on Twitter like right when I got the news, and I was just like looking at my friend. I was like, oh my God, the weekend's dropping. So yeah, I was geeking over that, and then it hit. So I was very happy that night.
No, yeah, it was definitely like one of those things like I won't forget. And like the album was, very enjoyable, of course. Obviously a shorter listen, didn't keep me up too late, and
Yeah, perfect.
that's my memory from it.
That's a pretty good first listen, I would say.
Number 8 for me, the fucking like grip this song had on me in high school. In junior year, I remember Post Malone had dropped Rockstar with 21 Savage. That was the single or one of these singles. And then ultimately leading into Beer Bongs and Bentleys. And that album just hit for so long. I mean, it still hits to this day. Different tracks off it, of course. But this is like my high school football team. We always were just banging this. And then, after going into the winter, we all just cruise around to the Beer Bongs and Bentleys. I mean, Posty definitely came correct for me on this one.
Yeah, I definitely remember when this prize dropped. It was very well received, I feel like, by the masses. Like I feel like, the more recent, like the last 2 Post Malone albums, probably, I think they definitely have fans, but they definitely also have a lot of negative opinions. I feel like this one was mostly positive. Like they were definitely pretty good songs. I'm not the biggest Post Malone fan, but I've loved Rockstar. I could listen to some songs on here. When they came on, I was like, all right, I was fine with it. So yeah, good pick. My next pick here, this is, I think, the one that you're gonna have way higher than I am. So I'm excited to see your reaction. It's Astroworld by Travis Scott.
Yeah, I knew it was.
I love Astroworld. I do, but I love a lot of these albums. You know what I mean? I kind of think Astroworld just has not been in the rotation as much, and that's why it's down here for me personally. There's great songs. There's no denying that. I would say Travis's second best project to Rodeo. It's great. I mean, there's so many good songs. I just listened to Can't Say for the first time this week in a long time, and it really hit. And that alone almost bumped it up. Like that when I heard Don Toliver for the first time, that was a life-changing moment. I love Don Toliver. And so when I heard him come in on Can't Say, I was like, ooh, I was levitating. That was hard. But there's so many good songs on this. Stop Trying to Be God, No Bystanders. I mean, Wake Up.
Top to bottom.
I didn't even mention my favorite one, Astro Thunder, my favorite one.
That's what I was gonna actually ask is, what is your favorite track off Astroworld?
It's Astro Thunder. And I feel like that's another one that I don't even really go back to too much anymore. But every time I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, this hits.
No, I feel like it's kind of they're not sleeper tracks, but once they come on, you're like, holy fuck, this is a great song.
I hate to bring up the Astroworld incident, but I kind of feel like that, plays a role in it. Like I feel like I don't know, I just don't think about Travis as much as I used to. And so when he does come up, I'm like, okay, but he's kind of, creeping back in. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be heavy in the rotation soon again.
Definitely. Great project, of course. Gonna get some high praise from me, so we'll leave it for later.
Yeah, I'll say we'll definitely have more to say about it then. We'll see where you're at. What's your next pick, though? What was your number 7?
My number 7. This is one where I think you probably have a little bit higher, and I'm curious to see your reaction. At number 7, I have Kids See Ghosts, the collaborative album between Kid Cudi. Watching on YouTube, sorry. Kid Cudi and Kanye. I mean, not much needs to be said. Kanye had a huge summer this year. I feel like we may see a couple more projects, maybe in my list, maybe in Jonathan's. We'll see what happens. But I mean, I feel like not much needs to be said about this. Cudi Montage, that song will always hit though. That's like one that'll come up and shuffle every once in a while, and every time it is just beautiful. Although, I did keep those Kid Cudi songs in there because technically they got Yeezos in there. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this project is great. You are correct. It will be somewhere on my list. Yeah, so many good songs. I'll save a little bit though for when I talk about it. But yeah, what's your favorite track on Kids See Ghosts?
got to be Cudi Montage.
Got to be
Easily.
Cuddy Montage. Okay, I knew you talked about it, so I just want to make sure. Okay,
Yeah. I mean, if I
good
went with
pick.
the second best, I'd probably say Feel the Love. Very unique song there. The beat is nuts, and
Mm-hmm.
King Push does his thing, of course. So
Yeah, he does. I'll move on here to my number 7 though. I went with FM by Vince Staples. I loved when The Weeknd did, the whole kind of radio theme with Don FM, of course. But Vince Staples did it first, and I think Vince Staples did it better with FM. Debatable if he did it better or not, but I think it was such a unique one. The way he incorporated Big Boy, and then he had the interludes with Earl Sweatshirt and Tyga. I mean, that was cool. Just so many good songs. Such a cohesive feel on this. Real feels like you're in the California. It feels like you're in, Long Beach. It hits. It's very cohesive, very solid project.
definitely. This is one where it came on randomly the other day. I don't really go back to FM too much out of Vince's older stuff, but how did Feels Like Summer not make our list for this top 10 for our summer soundtrack?
Yeah,
It's got the
I mean, it definitely
got,
does in the title too, of course. Yeah, but I don't know. It has more of like a beachy feel to it. We're in the cornfields. Like, I don't know. Like, it definitely does feel like summer. Of course, it's in the title. It has to. I think there's just different feelings of summer. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily my summer. If I was on the beach often, oh yeah, I'd be feeling it. But it's humid, or it's just green around. It's just not blue waters. It's green.
I
It
feel
just
like
couldn't make it.
I feel like even in like Flint's pools, Feels Like Summer would hit, especially with the Ty Dolla Sign feature. I mean, the summer feature king, deemed by us. So
Valid. I haven't been in a swimming pool in like 3 years. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I can't relate.
you do slide through to Cameron sometimes, or you just like drop off food or something. You don't ever come swim. So I mean,
Yeah,
maybe we'll get a pool
sometimes.
day in the works.
Maybe. But yeah, the one that came on, I had a playlist like best of 2018. And I don't every year since then, I've made like a specific playlist, and it's like my favorite songs from the year, and I make it at the end of the year, or like add to it throughout the year. I think this one was just songs I was listening to, and then I just titled it that to kind of like continue what I had going on. Like I think I did that in like early 2020 maybe. Just made whatever my rotation was best of 2018, like it was what I was listening to, but not necessarily everything came out in 2018. I don't think. But I just shuffled that yesterday when I was getting ready for the episode, and Tweaking came on, and I was like, oh yeah, this hits. And then Run the Bands came on, and Don't Get Chipped came on. I was like, oh my god, this project is so good.
No, yeah, it's deep. When Feels Like Summer came on, I definitely had to go back and give it a listen. I mean, speaking on like playlists and everything, I back in the day, so I obviously this was before I had a job or anything. In 2018, it was turning 17, I think, at the end of the year, 16 throughout the whole year. And I couldn't afford Spotify Premium, didn't have a card or whatever to get one, so I didn't have like Spotify Premium or Apple Music. So it's like after this is the year after 2018 is where I started getting like my replays every year and all those. So it hurt not having those, but I'll have them for every other year now. So
for sure, I'm gonna take a look back at what my top songs of 2018 were on my Spotify Wrapped. Let's see, just to see. So you were talking about you didn't have Spotify Premium or Apple. I had Apple all year. This was the first year I switched to Spotify. I switched to Spotify in like probably September of 2018. So this is my Spotify Wrapped for only like 2 months. So it's like not the best indication, but like it's solid. So my top artists, do you have any guesses? I want to see if you can guess my top artist of 2018.
2018. I'm gonna say Kanye.
Kanye, not in the top 5.
Yeah, I didn't know if they'd count like Consequos, like giving those some numbers there. Vince Staples.
Nope, not in top 5.
Oh man, way off here. The Weeknd.
Number 2.
Number 2. I mean, like the memories I have of like music from you would be like Chance the rapper, I guess, at this point in time. But
No
that's still
chance.
that's a couple years removed from.
From
Uh,
coloring book.
I do have a memory of like you with a picture with Lil Yachty. I mean, I don't think Lil Yachty's on there, but
I do have a picture with Lil Yachty. It's not Lil Yachty. I'll tell you who it is though. It's Brockhampton. Brockhampton was number one.
okay, yep.
You know, that was my first full
Iridescence.
year. Yeah, Iridescence and the first full year with all the saturations. So a lot of Brockhampton in the rotation throughout that year. But it was Brockhampton, The Weeknd, Frank Ocean, Travis Scott, and Childish Gambino.
Ooh, I blanked on Travis. Travis is huge at that time too.
Yeah, Travis was going crazy. And then I only had 8,000 minutes, which is pretty low, obviously, but only a couple months. That makes sense. Then my top songs, number 5, The Zone by The Weeknd. Number 4, Too Fast by Sonder, Brent Faiyaz's group. Number 3, Siegfried by Frank Ocean. Number 2, Astro Thunder. And number 1, this is going to throw people for a loop, but this is one of my favorite songs of all time. Definitely my favorite interludes of all time. Stargirl Interlude by The Weeknd and Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey.
That was my most listened to song of the year, but it hit. Like one of my friends was like, "That's your number one," and I was like, "Yeah, I listen to like all the time."
No, yeah, Lana does her thing, and then of course, I mean, with the Great Gatsby movie, she kills that soundtrack as well. So I just had to bring it up, of course, any chance I get.
Always. But yeah, I honestly don't even remember what got me on that tangent. But yeah, I had to see if you had any guesses.
Yeah, I'll be better. That's all I could say. I think you'll be guessing on something later. I mean,
okay.
I won't shock drop it on you, I guess, but there's your hint.
I'll get warmed up.
Moving on though, my number 6 project here. This is like the most summer I've ever had from like a song specifically. This is kind of where I started going to like parties and stuff. Not drinking, not yet, but just hanging around like older kids, seniors and all that stuff, whatever. But like this is like the most vivid song I can ever remember hearing for the first time, and it is "Lean With Me" by Juice WRLD off "Goodbye and Good Riddance." That is my number 6 project there. I remember we were just sitting in the back of the car and we're just driving, and Anthony's like, play this song, which is weird because Anthony didn't put me onto too much music back in the day, and that song it'll always hit, and that's the memory that comes from it.
Wait, so was "Lean With Me" your first Juice WRLD song you heard?
It was, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Mine was "All Girls Are the Same" when that Lyrical Lemonade video dropped. I mean, that was the one. My boy Skiz B showed me it.
Juice WRLD blew up so quick. It was like wildfire. Like that was.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we keep harping on Spotify features here, but there was a Spotify feature they had like, I think maybe 2 years ago, and it was like they gave you like a fan status of certain artists, like you'd be a diamond fan or a gold fan or whatever, and it was like what percentile, I guess, of fans you were in, like how early you were. And I was a platinum Juice WRLD fan because I was in the first 1% or something. I was like, I don't even think I was that early to Juice WRLD, but like I was like, all right.
I feel we've talked about this before, but I feel like Houston was like awkwardly like pretty early on Juice WRLD, or like Vermilion County even as a whole was like, I felt like a lot of people listen to Juice WRLD, like kind of just spread like wildfire, like I said. So.
No, I think his career definitely blew up very fast, and I do think VC was ahead. I mean, I don't know if it's anything about the proximity to Chicago that we have, but yeah, we were early somehow, which is rare.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah,
very bizarre, weird. If you've ever taken a drive through Vermilion County,
if you took a look here, you would not pin us for Juice WRLD fans, but here we are. And it wasn't just like a couple; it was like a lot of people. Like everybody says Juice WRLD.
Like Juice WRLD, like you said, everybody was listening to Juice WRLD, and I feel like his peak was definitely like Death Race for Love, like around here especially. Everybody was banging that. Everybody was super excited for it and everything. So, R.I.P. Juice.
R.I.P. Juice. We're talking about a very popular artist right there. I'm gonna go to somebody that's not very popular that definitely has not had a mainstay in the Vermilion County. That's JPEG Mafia with his Project Veteran. He did make an appearance at Pygmalion Festival in Champaign this year, 2018. Wanted to go, did not go. I had to go to my friend's bachelor party. Tough. Wanted to see JPEG Mafia though really bad, but Peggy came through with this. This was the first project I heard from him. But I mean, there's songs in this that I've just like been in the rotation heavy since 2018. I mean, the intro track 1539 North Calvert Street, that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. Goes so hard. And then there's just certain songs that kind of feel certain vibes, and one is Baby I'm Bleeding. Like that's a classic in my gym rotation. Always listen to that, always hard hitting. I was doing deadlifts at the gym the other day, trying to, do some heavy weight, put it on, and I was just, getting after it. And it felt right. Peg, you always get me through. So I had to have it on the list.
Great pick there. I mean, great story as well with the lifting there. I mean, I've honestly never lifted to JPEG Mafia. I don't lift all too much, but I mean, I think I'll have to try it at this point now.
My one random, well, I was say person, but group that I was listening to is Run the Jewels. I think Run the Jewels, they have some just perfect workout songs. So if you need something for the workout playlist, check some Run the Jewels too. Some Legend Has It off Run the Jewels 3. There's some great songs on there. So that's my little tip for the day, my little recommendation.
Moving into the top 5, we have at my number 5 pick, we have Ye by Kanye West. It's a very short project, but I think it gets the point across. Just so many memorable tracks from this. No misses, of course, but he's 7 for 7. I mean, it's not too crazy or anything. I like my biggest takeaway from this is 070 Shake. Obviously, a big project this year, then one last year as well. Just kind of coming out of nowhere, bursting on the scene with arguably outdoing Kanye West on his own album. So
yeah, Ghost Town alone almost made this project make my list. I'm gonna say right now, it did not make my list, but it was obviously in contention. Kanye's always to be contention. Man, Ghost Town alone, it just hits, and that was one that came on my playlist yesterday on my drive home, and I was like, does Ye need to be on here? Like, we're doing songs, Ghost Town near the top, if not the top. But as a project, Ye did not make my list.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just always been in my rotation. I don't know why it's like always stuck, but since 2018, so I mean, we're about at 4 years now. It's never left, and it wouldn't leave.
No pun intended. Valid. All right, I'll move on here to my number 5. Sticking with Kanye West, though, I have Kids See Ghosts here at number 5. So, you said you thought I was gonna have higher. I do have a little bit higher, but not like at the very,
not
very
significantly.
top.
Yeah.
No, but this is a great project. Standouts for me, obviously, Feel the Love, Fourth Dimension, Cuddy Montage, Kids See Ghosts title track. I mean, it's a short project, but almost all the songs just are great. Yeah, I don't think much needs to be said. I mean, the boy, the needle drop, gave it a 10. That I mean, it has to make the list at that point, right?
Of course, at that point, definitely. I guess we'll keep it Kanye themed. I mean, not Kanye's album here for my number 4 pick, but we have Daytona by Pusha T. I've wanted to rank this higher. I just couldn't rank it. You'll see the 3 albums are ranked ahead of it. Such a great album. I've really gotten back into It's Almost Dry recently, probably like the past few weeks. And I think I'm ready to say I enjoy It's Almost Dry a little bit more, but I think that it's a longer track list. And I don't know. I love Daytona, though. I mean, great project. I would say it's the best of Push's career, but I enjoy It's Almost Dry more at this point.
Respect. I think that's well put. Yeah, it's a great project. It's definitely going to be on my list here in a minute, so I won't talk too much about it here, but it's one of the best, most respected albums of that year, so I think it has to be.
If you know, you know.
List. You're killing it here with the
with
the subtle references. All right, I'll go to my number 4 here, though. I got Care for Me by Saba. I think this was a big stepping point in Saba's career. A Few Good Things is a great project, but this is some of the best rapping Saba's ever done, some of the best songwriting. Just such a personal album. Prom King is one of the best songs ever made. So for that reason alone, it's gonna be on this list. But I mean, there's so many good songs. Gray, Smile, Sirens. I mean, there's good songs all around.
This that would be one of my honorable mentions if I did honorable mentions, but did not. So I apologize, guys. That is my one honorable mention. That we'll only do one.
Okay, I was wondering when you said we're going to see what your 3 ahead of it are. I had 2. I'm 100% sure are going to be on there, but I wasn't sure what the third one was going to be. I was like, is it going to be Saba? I didn't know if you have it that high at all, if you're going to have it. So, okay.
Yeah, I feel like what discredits it a little bit is I wasn't banging it too much in 2018.
Respect.
I mean, caught it a couple years after, so I kind of wanted to put that into the equation as well, how much I played it a little bit.
Yeah, I will kind of agree with that though. Personally, obviously I was big in a Chance. I'm wearing the Chance merch right now, but I was big in a Chance around this time, and so Chance had the feature on it, and I mean that honestly ended up being one of my least favorite songs in the project, like one of the ones I go back to the least at least. But it got me to the project. I was like, okay, I gotta check out this sound project. Obviously, he was on Angels on Chance's album, and then I had heard some of those songs even before that. But yeah, I think it's only grown in my rotation since 2018. Like in 2018, I was like, oh, it's good, but I don't even think in 2018, I don't know if it would have been in my top 5, but now it's like,
Yeah,
it has to be there. Like it's just always got some of these songs playing at some point throughout the week.
Moving on, number 3 at the top 3 here. Got to go with Swimming by Mac Miller. Such an amazing album. Anniversary was just this past week. What was that, on Monday or Tuesday, I think. Such a phenomenal project. It's just like, just listening to this album, I mean, it's just constantly, you're just not finding new tracks, but you just enjoy new tracks a lot more than you did, even 2 weeks ago. So highlights from this one for me got to be like Jet Fuel, 2009, of course. Ladders is a banger. Wings is also a bit. I mean, it's just through and through. I think it's no skips for me personally, but
yeah, it's a great project. Did not make my list, but I will agree with the sentiment that it is one that I always find something new every time I go back to it. And I think that can be said about Mac's career as a whole. Like every time I hear something like a project, I can just find something new to enjoy. And I kind of think that could be really said about, the mixtape that was just added to Spotify. I was like, oh, like this hits a little bit harder. I hadn't even heard all the songs before. So it was definitely good to go back. And I was like, okay, I liked Mac a lot. But it just doesn't stick in the rotation as much as some of the others. So I mean, it's simple as that, I guess.
Yeah, definitely respectable list. You gave it the nod, the honorable mention. It's tough cutting down to 10 projects. So
facts. I'll move on here to my number 3. I've Dilate by Playboi Carti. I mean, I know this is one that I don't think you're too much into, right? Like we talk about it's not into Carti like that.
Dilate's it's not bad. I mean, that'd be my favorite project out of his.
Respect. But I mean, this is one that I listened to a lot in 2018. I mean, I was loving like RIP, Shooter, obviously. But even since then, I mean, Lean for Real, Flatbed Freestyle, that was hitting back in the day too. RIP Fredo. But the one that has been in rotation heavy recently is Fell in Love with Bryson Tiller. Oh, that one just hits. I've listened to that heavy the past couple of weeks. And maybe that's recency bias that it put it up here, but I do love this project. I think it's some of Carti's best work. Obviously, I think he's very consistent. I think that might be a hot take.
I think
you think he is?
Yeah, I think in terms critical reception, especially. A whole lot of red, not initially, but I feel like it's grown over time on a lot of people. But I mean, just listening, it is very consistent.
Yeah, Carti's gonna be just killing the production. You know that. Obviously, he's working with Pierre a lot back in this era. And then working with some different producers on Whole Lot of Red and stuff. But you're gonna get the hard hitting beats. Carti's delivery is always gonna be crazy. It's gonna be super melodic. The ad libs are gonna go crazy, or it's gonna have a lot of energy. But yeah, I think this is just such a great project. We gave a heavy nod to the track or the album art a couple episodes ago, and maybe that makes it a little bit better for me. I don't know, but I love the album art. I love this project all around. Can't miss.
I feel like just seeing the album art, that is just one project you have to listen to just from the cover. I mean,
100%.
Don't judge a book by its cover, but that one is, you got to be per banger on that one. For my number 2 pick here, I have Astroworld by Travis Scott.
Okay. I'm really blanking. I have no idea where number 1's going to be now, because I thought I don't know what you're missing on your list. Like, I have no idea what's going to be number 1 now. I think it's something I'm just overlooking, but
you're definitely overlooking something, because I've gone on record by saying how much I love this album. But getting into Astroworld, I mean, it's kind of like the Mac, like every once in a while you just hear one track and you go find another track, and it's just like hits so much harder than it did the time before. But for my favorite track on here, I would have to go to Skeletons. Such a beautiful song.
Oh, I didn't even mention that when I was talking about it, but yeah, that such a great track. That was probably one of my favorites initially, but that might have been number 1 initially.
I think initially Stargazing was mine, and then
Hmm.
now it's kind of transitioned into Skeletons. I also really enjoy R.I.P. Screws. So
I was listening to R.I.P. Screw last night. That hits. I remember when this album first dropped. I mean, Sicko Mode obviously got a lot of hype, and I think it's one of the songs that gets a lot of hype, but it really does deserve it. But people are like, "Oh, it's the best song of the album," and I was like, "It's not." Like, Sicko Mode's not top 5. And at that point, I had No Bystanders, Skeletons, Can't Say, Stop Trying to Be God, and I think Stargazing. As I was like, those are better. At least those are better. But Sicko Mode, obviously, it does hit. It's one of the rare bangers that I do still enjoy every time I hear it.
yeah, I mean, for how much it was played at the time, like it was such a meme song. That and Mo Bamba were the memes, but they're still amazing songs. So,
100%. I
um,
was thinking about Mudboy when I was like getting this list together, and I was like,
that,
I mean, it can't make the list. I was like, I do love some songs on it, but it's just not up here.
I also scrolled by Mudboy and I took a second glance at it. I was like, it's not making the list, but
No, but Mo
um,
Bamba, I mean, that had a grip on me.
no, definitely.
Every party I was at, it was Mo Bamba, Sicko Mode. Yeah, that was the meme. Mo Bamba or Sicko Mode. I love both those songs. They get clowned, but I love them both.
I feel like not as much anymore. It's
No,
had
not
some
as much
time, but at
anymore.
the
But
time, yeah.
yeah, at the time.
Uh, I feel like a very underrated part of Astroworld is like the the cultural impact. I guess is like all the merch from it. You still see Astroworld merch everywhere. Knockoff Astroworld stuff. Obviously, they had the festival ended in an unfortunate way. Um, but I mean, like just the carryover effect. This kind of leapt Travis into superstardom. I feel like.
100%. After this, he was, unavoidable. One song that came up my playlist, I was like, oh man, I forgot about that, was Watch. I was convinced Watch was going to be on Astroworld, and it was not, which was tough. Or did it come out after? I don't remember.
I think it was beforehand.
I thought it was before too. If for some reason I was like, was it maybe just like a throwaway afterwards? Yeah, I thought it was before. I thought it came out in like fall. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely be on Travis's project. But it wasn't. But especially because got the little sample of the girl at the beginning of the last drive. I'm gonna take Astroworld. Oh, it'd been perfect.
Yeah, definitely. One closing thought on this. 5% tent. That one's always hitting in the whip, I've already mentioned how tent lyrics just hit close to home for me. So I'm always begging that. It's just a good time. Good song.
Respect. I think that's a good track. The thing I think about with 5% Tent is I wanted to see Travis Scott so bad. He was at Lollapalooza the day Astroworld dropped. So it dropped on, Thursday at midnight. He was there Thursday. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to do the album. They had like a live stream set up. I think it was through Red Bull or somebody. They were doing a live stream. I was like, I was tuned in. I remember I went to eat in Danville with my friends. And then on the way back, I was just watching on my phone. I was like, I have to listen to this. Like, I think we can plug in the aux. We're just listening to the live Travis Scott performance. But then the only new song he did, I think he came out to Stargazing, but then the only other song he did from the album was 5% Tint. And I was like, like, I don't know. That was an interesting choice.
No, that is very interesting. Like going back through the track list now,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be one that I would have thought. Obviously, you can't do like something like Sicko Mode. You got to save that one for first
100%.
listen.
Unless you would have brought out like Drake as a surprise guest. That would have been hard, but you can't. You got to say that for the first listen. If it get social media reaction, like it would hit. And it did hit. Like that Drake feature, it was unlisted.
That is probably I said my closing thought, but that is probably like the most hype I've ever been on. Like just listening to a song and you fucking that beat drop and just
yeah, I mean it was crazy. And then that was one of the albums that like I think kind of similar to Whole Lotta Red, such an anticipated album, but lived up to the hype, which is very tough to do.
Definitely.
So shout to Astroworld. All right, my number 2 pick, I got Daytona by Pusha T. Had to have it. I mean, this is some of the best rapping of Push's career. Kanye killed the production. That Wyoming run was undefeated, unmatched, unprecedented. Won't happen again. Probably not. But what a time to be alive. That's what I'll say when Daytona hit. Comeback Baby was going crazy. Santeria was going crazy. If you know. Hard Piano even. There was just so many good tracks in this project. Yeah, great all-around project.
Definitely. You previously mentioned by me, of course. Like you said, that Wyoming run undefeated. I need a 30 for 30 on that shit.
I bet there's some crazy clips we haven't seen, like when that clip of Kanye yelling at Chance leaked.
That's my favorite. That's my
I mean,
clip ever.
That's probably just one of many. There's probably so many others of just little mini feuds, and I need to see them. The
Yeah,
making
no,
of all these albums that just are some of the best of all their respective careers. Like, gotta see it.
definitely. I mean, there's definitely going to be unreleased footage and everything. So, I mean, maybe they could put something together at some point.
Definitely. But I want to see what your number one is. I am like struggling to think of what your number one is going to be.
You're going to feel dumb once I say this. For my number one,
it's nothing that I've said, right?
Nope.
Okay.
An artist that hasn't even been mentioned this episode. For my number one pick, I have Come Over When You're Sober Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, see, like once I said it, you're like, I mean, I've talked about this album a ton already. Perfect album to me. Like my most memorable listen to an album I got on SoundCloud. Like I think it released maybe 30 minutes before or something. So got on SoundCloud, listened to the whole thing. I mean, just something that will never fall out of my rotation. Never has, never will.
Respect. I don't know why, but you talking about like SoundCloud led me to one that I am regretting not putting on this list. I might have to make an amendment. I'll just give the honorable mention at least. It's Six Wolves by Six Dogs and Danny Wolf. I mean, that's one of my favorite projects of all time. Like a lot of these are, but there's songs in that I'm always listening to. So kind of mad I forgot it, but it kind of is an afterthought compared to like some of these big artists. And like I was like looking up like 2018 albums and looking through it, kind of overlooked it, kind of forgot about it. But I don't know how because I was listening to it. But back to your Lil Peep pick, great pick. Obviously, we talked about it a lot. I've mentioned it. Not my favorite Lil Peep project, but obviously it's a personal list. Can't knock it, and I do enjoy it myself too.
Definitely, by far my favorite Lil Peep project. So
respect, and I think that kind of goes with my number one here. It's another person we haven't talked about. Another one that's not on your list. Our number ones are both not on the other person's list. That's interesting to me. But mine's Some Rap Songs by Earl Sweatshirt.
I mean, knew that. I was missing one, and I was like, I know he's gonna have some rap songs earlier, like yesterday when I was looking through these, and then I was like, throughout this, I was like, what's he gonna have at one? What's he gonna have at one? And then, yeah, fuck.
See, it's the same with Lil Peep. Like, I like though that we both had some that were just like, they're personal. They're personal to us. But this is one of my favorite projects of all time. Earl goes crazy. So many good songs. I think my favorite one initially was probably like December 24th. But then, I love Zukar. I love Riot. That beat is crazy. That's just like one of the best instrumental tracks of all time. It goes crazy. It's, was even popping on like TikTok for a minute. But Shattered Dreams, Cold Summers, like such a good project, such personal, introspective look to Earl. Obviously going through a lot of personal tragedy around this time with the passing of his father. So yeah, great project. And yeah, I love it.
I'm pissed I blinked on that one too. Gosh damn it.
I know we both kind of suck at picking each other's, but I'm glad that it was a good surprise though for each of us.
Definitely. Great list though. I mean, like I think obviously anytime we kill these lists, we're kind of in sync on some of them, on some aspects, but then also, we have these clear-cut differences as well. So I really always enjoy doing these and like seeing where we're at, seeing the differences, seeing what I have and you don't have, and vice versa there. So
facts. Yeah. I think it's just the personal list, and I think that comes with it, but I think that's what makes us good co-hosts to each other. We can complement each other with different styles and different stuff like that. So yeah, for sure.
All right, definitely great point there as well. I always am telling people how our music styles complement each other, especially in terms of like a podcast where everybody's listening. We bring in all these different aspects, but we can get into that later. I did tease something earlier. So I have 3 albums here, and I'm gonna give you the name of the album. Of course, I just want you to tell me how many tracks are on the project.
Oh, okay.
Kicking it off here, I have The Life of Pablo by Kanye West.
Okay. Obviously, I know that St. Pablo's added late. My guess is 19.
You are one off there. It is 20 songs.
So it was 19 before St. Pablo.
Yeah, that's very close though.
Okay, that's a good guess.
Moving on to the second one here, we have The Melodic Blue by Baby Keem.
Oh,
we're going straight tracks here, not the Lost Souls, Hooligan, those don't count. I mean,
Okay. It's definitely got more than 10, but I'm thinking around or a little bit less than 15. So I'm gonna say I'll say 14.
it is a 16 track album without Lost
16.
Souls.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
without Lost
16, huh?
Souls.
16 kind
Yeah,
of gives it away, huh?
yeah.
Okay. Maybe I should have known that one, but whatever.
All right, and then the last one here, we're going with the First Saturation Project by Brockhampton.
Ooh. This is tough. Obviously, there's a couple skits. My gut is telling me that there's probably less than 15. I'm going to go with 12. I think 12. Yeah, sure.
It is a 17 track project.
17. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Those boys were putting in work, more work than I remember. Because they had 3 of those things in a year.
No, that is nuts what they fucking did. It's not a year, it's 6 months too. I mean,
Facts. Those boys are different. Okay, yeah, that was tough. Besides the Saint or Life of Pablo, kind of struggled there a little bit. I was kind of close, but kind of far off. I mean, we're talking about like albums. Being off by 5 songs is kind of a lot.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a tough thing though.
It is tough. Like, I mean, I'm sure if I started like naming songs and like thinking about it, being like, okay, I remember these 9, and there's probably a couple more, but then I don't know. That's taking a lot of time. So I was kind of guessing, but yeah, tough.
It is. But I mean, let's get into the weekly news here. Good little game there. Maybe we can do a part 2 or something. But I mean, pretty packed week here with news, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things. Do you want to start off with the releases here?
Yeah, we'll take a look here at some of the projects that dropped. We got Eminem, Calvin Harris, NBA YoungBoy, and then the Shitty Boys, of course. Can't forget about them. And I think it was even more of a loaded week for singles, though. So I'll just get straight into that. Then we can talk about all of it as a whole.
Deep too, yeah.
Singles, deep week for singles. Benny the Butcher, Snot, Lil Tecca, DC the Don, IDK and Nightmare, Willow, Omar Apollo, DJ Khaled featuring Drake and Lil Baby, The Weeknd with a remix of Best Friends featuring Summer Walker, K Tronada featuring Anderson .Paak, Trippie Redd featuring Moneybagg Yo and Offset, Benny Blanco featuring Snoop Dogg and BTS, and then Meet You Darko featuring Freddie Gibbs. Deep week. What were you listening to this week?
So we kind of, I went over the Calvin Harris project a little bit, and then Eminem a little bit. I greatest hits, whatever. But Shitty Boys, of course, had to give the Tron a listen.
I haven't got around to it yet.
I mean, you know how he's coming with the bars. Is Babytron. That's all I need to say. And then in terms of Sneak, you said that last night, and I fucking died. For singles, I did the DJ Khaled featuring Drake and Baby, obviously, along with the Trippie Redd featuring Moneybagg and Offset, were my most listened to. And then I was also able to give Benny the Butcher and Lil Tecca a listen as well. But I haven't got everything listened. I need to, but understandably so. That is a deep fucking week.
Deep week. I was also listening to a lot of 2018 music, trying to get ready for the episode, but of course I listened to Calvin Harris. I thought it was a pretty good project. Don't really have like a comparison on how it stacks up to the first volume. But yeah, I thought it was good overall. A lot of good tracks on that. I love the one Bustle Rhymes randomly. That was like not what I was anticipating enjoying as much as I did, but it hit. I also loved the Weeknd's remix of Best Friends with Summer Walker. That was super cool. And then the K Tronada and Anderson .Paak. That was my favorite of the week. It's been around for a long time. I saw a TikTok and it was K Tronada riding, I think, in like a Jeep or something with Rick Rubin, the legend. And he showed him this song in 2018. Like completed. It sounded finished. They probably maybe did a little more mastering or mixing since then. But yeah, it's just been around, been in the vault, and they officially gave it to us, and it hits. It's a great track. Those two can't miss. I mean, they got a great track with Glowed Up. Great duo. I'd love to see some more from those two in the future.
Definitely. Would you go ahead and say that's like your favorite of the week, or?
Yeah, that's my favorite of the week.
Okay.
I like the Meet You Darko and Freddie one though too a lot. I was looking forward to that. It definitely lived up to the hype.
I'm gonna have to give the Busta Rhymes. I need to hear that, I guess.
Yeah, like I wasn't I don't listen to Busta Rhymes too much, but that was
What
one
it,
that I saved to my playlist from the album. I was like, okay, like I saved like 5, and Busta Rhymes was one of them.
what is your biggest Busta Rhymes? Like what comes to mind when you think of Busta Rhymes? For me, it's very, very specific.
Mine's got to be "Look at Me Now."
Yeah, the Look at Me Now verse, he fucking kills that.
I mean, it goes crazy. Shout out to my boy Skiz B. I remember there's a video of him, and it was on Facebook. Like, not too many people posted videos on Facebook, but I don't remember if he posted it or one of our other friends or somebody posted it. But I think he had a mask on. In my head, it's like a scream mask, and he was like moving around dancing to it after like a morning soccer practice on Facebook. Hit Facebook at like 10 a.m. and it was so funny. It was great. Other than that, my big memory of Busta Rhymes is the "Hello" song with Chance. It's a remix of "I Got Five" on it. Classic. Obviously, if you've seen Us, it hits. That is one of my favorite Chance verses of all time. I would argue the best. It's such a well-written verse from Chance. A lot of different flows, a lot of good references. And the Busta Rhymes kind of goes crazy too. Like the version I saw originally was just Chance. Like somebody had trimmed it so it was just Chance. And I was like trying to find, I was like, what's like the full song? Like, can you download this? And it's on Busta Rhymes. I think it's like on a mixtape, so it's not on streaming services, but look it up on YouTube. "Hello" by Busta Rhymes featuring Chance the Rapper. You won't regret it.
Definitely. Maybe this will be my new favorite Busta Rhymes memory.
Maybe.
um, Moving on though, I'll let you get into this a little bit. Let you get into the shout out, of course.
All right, we got 2 projects. All I'll say is if you know, they're near and dear to my heart. We got Pigeons and Planes and Big Ass Kids with "See You Next Year." A lot of different artists on it. You got Red Veil, you got Ben Riley, Sash, Brevin Kim, Wallace. I mean, it hits. Dreamer Isioma goes crazy. Go give it a listen. Show some love, support. And then my brother BDX, the Don, my no label classmate. If you're listening to this on Monday, just came out yesterday. It's Until It's Time Volume 2, available now on all platforms. Show my brother some love.
Definitely give that a listen. Great project. I mean, always putting out great shit. Obviously, I don't know him very well, Jonathon. That's one of the no label classmates. But every time I do listen, I'm always telling Jonathon I enjoy it. So
Facts. We'd never steer you wrong, of course. So yeah, go show some love.
definitely. Moving on though, big performance yesterday it would have been. So today we're recording on Sunday. Yesterday, Travis Scott, he's back. First headlining performance since obviously the Astroworld tragedy. Performed God's Country 2020 unreleased Kanye project, amongst other songs, of course. Some videos out there of him performing Mafia with a fan. That was pretty cool as well.
I saw that. That was dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you able to catch any clips or anything of it? Or
yeah, I saw that one. I obviously saw my boy James Harden going crazy with Kevin Durant. They were in the audience.
That's
and
a
then
cold
backstage also. Yeah, super wild. Got to see my boy James Harden with KD. Like, I didn't know what their relationship was like, these days, but good to see that they're still holding it down.
That video of them backstage, it's like the raw emotion from Travis. It's so great to see.
It is great to see Travis. Like, I think you obviously with an incident like that, you're probably going to have, like, I feel like your confidence and your self-esteem probably got to take a little hit, but getting back out there in front of all those fans, showing you so much love, got to be great.
Definitely. And this is, I think he's got another show in London, right? Or
yeah, I think tonight, a second one.
Right, so it's second show tonight, and then the Road to Utopia tour is going to be beginning in Las Vegas. They're going to do it some out there with in clubs or whatever, starting September 17th. So seems like Utopia is on the way.
Yep, a 7-show residency in Las Vegas for Travis. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people getting residencies recently that, like, I don't know. When I think of those, I think of like older artists that are not necessarily washed up, but like, they're just something to do, honestly. But then you get the Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic residency, and then Travis. So maybe they're switching up a little bit. Good to see them, doing it though. Cool. But yeah, this I would say is kind of an iffy sign if we're to get Utopia this year, though. I don't think it's going to come this year. I think it's going to be early next year now.
That was, I can't remember if we put it in the video or not. For one of my hot takes is that we were not going to get Utopia this year. I really hope it was, because that take is kind of looking burning right now. So.
Definitely a good take, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I think then one episode when we saw the shows were announced, we were like given dates, And I think I said like August something, so I'm looking pretty far off unless
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
gonna just
No,
hang out in Las Vegas for a couple months.
no, we're talking about beginning of the year stuff. Don't listen to a few episodes ago when I did say Utopia was going to be in the fall. So
Yeah, no, that was, we got a little more information, but your OG take was, looking pretty good.
speaking of live performances, OVO. Oh, I get technically not OVO Fest. But the Young Money reunion. Whew, I watched the whole stream of that. Nuts. I wish I would have went.
I didn't even know it was on stream.
Well, not stream, but just YouTube. I mean, there's been like YouTube clips and just pretty much the whole thing. And God, but just nuts. Like, I really wish I had a passport because I would have gone.
It would have been crazy to see those three together. I mean, I don't know how many times it's happened before, but probably won't happen again. If it does, very, very few times. So it would have been something to see, especially, I mean, Lil Wayne, I'm not gonna say he's old, but he's getting a little bit older. Like, I don't know how many more tours he's got in him. Drake obviously can do whatever he wants. He's Drake. He might tour forever. He might not. You never know.
Speaking, Lil Wayne did tease the Carter 6.
They did.
So, I mean, he's got one last album in him at least, at the very minimum here. We'll see how many Carters they put out. But, I mean, I really enjoyed the Carter 5, so we'll see what we get.
Yeah, I mean, that's a series that is very consistent. You know what you're going to get from Wayne. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll definitely give it a listen when it drops.
Definitely. So, which show would you have rather been at between Travis and the Young Money reunion?
Oh, I think I'd have to go Young Money reunion just because that's more rare.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen Travis already, but I would have paid stupid amounts of money to go to London and watch that.
It would have been really cool. Obviously, being in London would be cool, but yeah, like I think it'll be the same show for the most part as you get with, a Travis tour in the next year versus Drake, Lil Wayne, and Nicki together. That's a rare show that you're not gonna be able to see again often. So yeah, I definitely have to pick that. I mean, so many classics they got to run through. Hard hitters, yeah, it'd have to be.
Did you see the picture on the screen? It was like, unfortunately, Lil Wayne had issues getting through at the border, and there was like, and then so it just said that, and then it popped on the screen like right under it. It was like after everybody read that, popped on the screen. Luckily, Drake runs the border, and then Lil Wayne comes out. It was fucking hype.
That is dope. I gotta have to.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a Drake thing there. I mean,
yeah, yeah, he runs it. I mean, I saw the thing where he was like, he's giving Lil Wayne his flowers, as he was saying about like he changed the city, and I was like, that's kind of wild for Drake to say that Lil Wayne is the reason for Toronto being up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's not wrong though.
No, I mean there is no Drake without Wayne, arguably. So yeah.
Yeah, I know that they were giving. They were Drake and Nicki were like to get. I'll let you watch the show. We can talk about takeaways later.
Okay.
Moving on. Producer Soundwave says Kendrick Lamar is working on his next album already. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I obviously very excited initially, but I also kind of think a lot of these rappers are always working. You know what I mean? Like,
never
just
not
because
working.
he's working, he was probably working the day after Tip Up a Butterfly dropped, the day after Damn dropped, or the week after, at least the month after.
And people are definitely.
There was so much time between the albums. Like, just because he's working doesn't mean he could just be messing around, playing around. He could be working on another soundtrack, but Black Panther 2 is gonna be coming out. I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities. Who knows what's gonna happen here? But it is good to see him back in the studio. Hopefully, we don't have to wait so long between projects again.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's acting like it's set in stone. That's not gonna be a 5-year wait now. But like you said, I mean, they said he does this every album. So I mean, he's technically started working on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers right after Damn. So I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean the album's coming next year or something like that.
No, I think maybe like a 2025 album. That's what I think I want.
Yeah, that's for a few years. I'd give it a few years.
I think that'd be cool. But yeah, still good to see. Hopefully, Kendrick's feeling inspired. Getting some hits made. He's always gonna deliver. So hopefully he's got something cool coming. Another person that might have something coming, according to their website, Kanye West. If you go to his website, it says coming soon. And there's a lot of rumors right now that Donda 2 is gonna release on streaming services on August 12th. So if you're watching this the week it drops, this Friday, What are your thoughts on that?
Watch the Throne podcast. I mean, pretty much confirmed it. I mean, that's a very reliable source in terms of Kanye material there. Sounds like it's coming. All signs are pointing towards that, but obviously, you can never get too comfortable with a Kanye West project.
No, all signs could point to yes. It could be officially announced, and it might still not come out. You never know.
All signs could also point to no, and then he could fucking drop it on a Sunday randomly, like he did at Donda.
Exactly. Like, there's no reason to think either way it's gonna come out. It's not gonna come out. I don't know. We're just have to find out. If it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'd like to see, if it does come out, I think it'd be changes. Obviously, True Love was changed like a decent amount, I feel like, from the Miami listening party to when it actually was officially released. But I do think, we did get True Love. So maybe we'll get the full album. Let's see, I guess.
Speaking of Kanye, though, it's not in our notes here. Skeet and Kim, they're done.
Yeah, I didn't know whether we thought that was, pertinent news to the podcast, but I do think it is, just because, obviously the Ye ties.
I think all the stuff in some weird way connected.
I don't know. That's like a deep conspiracy, but I'm not against it.
I think, Kim's the Kardashian, really all the Kardashians are very good at making calculated moves. So it's Kanye West. So we'll see what happens, I guess, but I could be wrong, but that is my rumor I'm going to start, I guess.
The one I saw was on TikTok, and it was something along the lines of Pete and Kim dated for 9 months, and Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson's baby through a surrogate was just born. And so when it was announced that she was pregnant, they got together as like a cover up so that, because Tristan's not, people aren't rocking with Tristan that heavy because, he's doing his thing, whatever. But this is all just a cover up. Pete and Kim were covering up so that there wasn't too much attention on Khloe and Tristan. And then they break up right afterwards. I don't know. It's interesting. But I mean, based on like social media and stuff, obviously you can kind of put whatever you want out there, but they seemed like, they were pretty happy together, I guess.
It'll be interesting to see, but I think it's just it's so weird that they're happening so close together. Like, like I said, they're very calculated people. So
yeah, I don't know. We may never know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. That's all we can do is wait. Moving on to our last piece of news here. The Weekend After Hours Nightmare Haunted House coming to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. What are your thoughts?
I thought this was pretty wild. I loved the trailer when it dropped. After Hours definitely does have, that After Hours vibe. Like, it does seem, dark nights. Would never have expected it to be like a horror haunted house type thing. But hey, shout out to The Weeknd for getting that bag. Maybe it'd be cool. I don't know where, if it's just Universal, like down in Florida or whatever, but if there's, some other one closer, maybe we'll have to pay a visit. I don't know.
No, yeah, it looks like very enjoyable. So maybe they will do something a little bit closer to Illinois, or just even a video of like seeing what goes on throughout the whole thing would be cool. So
yeah, I would like to see. Have you ever done a haunted house or anything like that?
Yes, I have.
Really?
I'm like real, like even like I know it's a little bit different than roller coasters and amusement park rides, but I'm a bitch when it comes to shit like that. But haunted houses, oh my, like I've gone to ones where like grab you and shit, and it's bad ideas. Yeah, no, I do not enjoy it anytime, but it's like everybody's doing it. So I was like, I guess I'll go. So
yeah, I think I could maybe be okay if there was like a group of people, but like if you got separated, oh my God, I would be sweating. I'd probably just lay down and just end it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go to like any of the extreme ones where you have to sign waivers or anything, but
those are different.
Yeah, those are different. If you go to those, you're fucking stop it. Get some help.
I saw one on YouTube, and it's like, I want to say it's somewhere in Texas or something, and you have to like stay overnight, and they can like break your bones and shit. But like if you make it through the night, you can like win a lot of money or something. Like it's crazy though. Like I just don't understand like what kind of sicko you have to be like, oh yeah, like pull my teeth out. That's fun.
Yeah. Like you're actually in a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss me with that, but maybe I'll pop out to a haunted house in a few months. So.
We'll see. I'll have to make appearance on the first one, I guess. I've never been to one at all. So
there's a solid one we could go to. Maybe we'll get like a live reaction or something.
Maybe.
But I think that about wraps it up for today.
Yep. Next week you might be listening to Kanye's album before our episode. You never know. We'll be back with some, updates on that. Hopefully, we'll see.
Don't bet the house on that though.
Don't bet the house on it. We'll see. Donda 2 might be coming to streaming services, but we'll always be coming back. So we'll see you guys next Monday.
Yep. See you guys.
Peace.